Hello and welcome to all students in this our today's lecture. Students, we are in the topic of modern periodic table, and in our last lecture we have seen some different parts of the periodic table, that is S block, P block, D block and F block. Now students, in continuation with that previous knowledge, in our today's lecture we are going to learn the difference between families and periods. Students will learn one by one from families and periods. Columns of elements are called groups, or we can say it as a families. Each period horizontal row of element is called a period. And in our modern periodic table we have seen there are 18 groups and 7 periods. Elements in each family have similar but not identical properties. As different scientists, they have checked their properties, and according to their similar properties, they have given place to that elements in a given periodic table. And the elements in a period are not alike in properties. Means if we go through these periods, you will get some different properties for each and every element. And in families, for example, if we take an example of lithium, sodium, potassium and other members of family first A are all soft, white and they are shiny metals. Even some of the metals from this group, for example sodium, we can cut with the help of knife also. In periods, in fact, the properties change greatly across even given row. Means if we go through these periods, you will get different properties for different elements. But here in families or groups, you will get the same, or you can say the similar properties. Now in groups, the families, all the elements in a family have the same number of valence electrons. This should be very important point. If we go through any group, for example for first A, if we consider here, you will get the same number of valence electrons, that is 1, and after that there is another second A group is present, you will get the plus 2 oxidation states, or we can say their valence electrons are 2. So if we consider all the elements in a family have the same number of valence electrons, in groups all the elements, for example if we consider for first A and second A, you will notice here the valency, or sometimes we can see the oxidation state, you will get the same for the elements which are present in the particular group. In case of period, the first elements in a period is always an extremely active solid. The last element in a period is always an inactive gas. So this is the difference between what I can say sometimes groups, or we can also call it as families and periods. Now moving towards the next point, that is infamous families of the periodic table. Notable families of the periodic table and some important members will be alkaline earth metals, chalcogens, halogens, noble gas, and the most important part of the periodic table are nothing but the transition metals. So these are the different parts or the different members from the same group, and the name which we have given as a like this: alkaline earth metals, transition metals, chalcogens, halogens, noble gases, and their corresponding position is also we have mentioned here. So this is the nature of, or we can say the according to their properties, different elements categorized into different parts of the periodic table. Now students, we will moving towards the next part, that is classification of elements. The noble gases are found in group 8A and have completely filled p subshells. Now look at here, the highlighted part of this periodic table is 8A. You will get the different elements such as helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. These are the different gases which are categorized into the group 8A, and if you look at their outermost shell, you will notice here they are completely filled with p subshells and the electrons are completely filled into their outermost shell. So therefore we are calling it as a non-reactive, and they will not take part in a chemical reaction also. Now we will go in detail about these noble gases. Noble gases are colorless gases that are extremely unreactive, as just said before. One important property of the noble gases is their inactivity. They are inactive because their outermost energy level is full, because they do not readily combine with other elements to form compounds. The noble gases are called inert. The family of noble gases includes helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. All the noble gases are found in small amounts in the Earth's atmosphere. The highlighted part from the periodic table we have shown here, and due to this inert nature of all these gases, they have some important uses in our day-to-day life. Reading the periodic table and some classification also now we are going to learn here. Now students, 118 elements we have shown in this our periodic table, and with the different color shades you will notice here which are the metals, non-metals, metalloids and noble gases. Student, if you look at here, the faint blue color elements you will notice here such as carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, selenium, bromine and iodine, and along with that hydrogen, or all these are called as a non-metals. And the elements which are shown with the faint yellow color, they are categorized under the metals. From this periodic table, in our day-to-day life you will notice some of the most important elements also, and some are the metalloids, means which shows both the properties of metals as well as non-metals sometimes. And the last family, that is noble gases, which are shown at extreme right side of the periodic table. They are non-reactive. Their properties also we have seen in the previous slide. Now moving towards the next point, that is trend in atomic radius. Students, atomic radius is a very important factor for all the elements which are given in the periodic table. According to their atomic size, we can categorize different elements in periods as well as in groups. So this is a very important trend. The size of an atomic species as determined by the boundaries of the valence electrons. Largest atomic species are those found in the, if we consider here, size of atoms tend to increase down the group, that is the atoms have the largest n but the smallest z effective, means If we consider here in the periodic table the elements from first A group, that is hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, atomic size goes on increasing. The reason behind that, at in each row, that is in each next row, a new shell will be added, so therefore atomic size gets increased. And if we go through the if we move from top to bottom, atomic size we can also say going to be increased. But if we move from left to right, atomic size gets decreasing. If you notice here the second period, that is from lithium to fluorine, you will notice here atomic size goes on decreasing. That is, we can also say atomic radius goes on decreasing if we move from left to right in the periodic table, that is across the period. And if we consider the elements which are present in the last row from cesium to radon, here also atomic size goes on decreasing, and from top to bottom from helium to radon atomic size goes on increasing. This property or this trend will be seen in case of all groups, that is first A to 8A. Now trends in ionization potential we are going to see in detail. Ionization potential is nothing but the energy required to remove an valence electron from an atomic species. Largest toward the corner of, that is, if we consider here in the periodic table, these atoms hold an to their valence electrons the tightest. Now students, if we look at this three-dimensional figure for ionization potential, if we compare, increasing ionization potential is going to be takes place from radon to helium. Ionization potential is nothing but the energy required to remove an valence electron from an atomic species. As the electron is present nearest to the positive nucleus of an atom, there is more energy is required to remove such electrons. And if you look at the ionization potential of each element which is provided in the periodic table below the elements, you will notice here from if we move from left to right, it is now going to be increased. For example, if we consider for sodium, it will be 496, and for argon it will be 1521. There is a major change which is going to take place if we move from left to right, because as each electron is adding in the next element, at the same time there is a attraction between positive nucleus and the outermost electron is now going to be takes place. This will affect the losing the electron by the element, means that element it cannot be easily losing the electron when an external element is coming towards itself. That is, there is more energy is required to remove such electron. Now students, the next trend, that is trend in electron affinity. Electron affinity is nothing but the energy released when an electron is added to an atom. Most favorable toward, that is, if we consider here the electron affinity for hydrogen to helium, these atoms have great affinity for electrons, means the energy which is released when an electron is added to an atom. Now students, in this case, if we move from top to bottom and left to right, you will observe here fluorine has greater tendency towards an accepting electron, and if we look at the family first A, we will notice here it has less tendency towards electron gaining, that is we can say electron affinity. Now students, this is all about in our today's lecture. In our next lecture we are going to learn what does it means to be reactive, means how elements are going to be reactive and what is the use of their reactivity in different chemical reactions. That part now we are going to learn in our next lecture. So this is all about in our today's lecture. Thank you very much.